Good, happy Thursday morning, October 15, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's get started. First up, we begin with COVID-19 updates. 2 more died of COVID-19 in New Hampshire as 71 new cases confirmed. Health officials say test positivity rate is below 1%. 2 more Granite Staters have died of COVID-19 and 71 new cases were confirmed Wednesday, health officials said. New Hampshire health officials said a Hillsborough County woman age 60 or older and a Stratford County man age 60 or older died of COVID-19. Over the course of the pandemic, 458 Granite Staters have died of the coronavirus, officials said. New Hampshire COVID-19 information, what you need to know. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 9,349 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 7,901,931 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 458 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 760 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 216,553 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And now let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 99. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 22, 29. And now let's take a look at these 3 charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalization. And in the red, deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalization. And let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalization. Red, deaths, and blue recovered. And now let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate and daily PCR tests. And now let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. Let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, difficult breathing, chills, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Pinkerton Academy cancels fall sports, switches to remote learning after COVID-19 exposures. Headmaster says person exposed to known case went to campus despite being told to quarantine. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Cherise Leclerc.
85 years and 4 generations, the award-winning Palmer Gas and Oil has been providing fuel to homes throughout New Hampshire, northern Massachusetts, and southern Maine.
School leaders say cases in their community all stem from a common exposure from a few remote members, not following COVID guidelines, and now it is sent effects campus-wide.
We want to make sure that we're doing our part and doing everything we can to keep our school community as safe and healthy as possible, and that includes our students and their families.
Headmaster Timothy Powers says due to the number of people now potentially exposed or having to quarantine, they can't remain open. It's hitting many hard, senior student athletes and parents among them.
I was just heartbroken. He was heartbroken.
Sherry Durazano's son is a senior on the football team.
It's all these things that these kids are never going to get a chance to have that opportunity to look back on and have those moments. You can't go back in time.
No soccer?
Samantha Franks and her teammate and co-captain of the girls' soccer team, Macy Graves, got the news today before practice.
We were playing like a professional team. Like, our game yesterday was so good and done that quickly.
They're hopeful some change may happen. A petition created by a student athlete has hundreds of signatures.
For plenty of the other seniors, that on yesterday was their last game playing soccer. So shout out to them. They've been such great teammates.
School leaders are reaching out to anyone directly who may have been exposed.
The headmaster says they will reassess the situation at the end of October with the hopes of going back to their hybrid model of learning. In Derry, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire school districts juggle remote hybrid learning aimed COVID-19 cases. Quarantines face temporary switch to remote learning for some. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
Chapel Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors out of their barn with a work ethic.
Students in Epping have been learning in person since the start of the school year. Most recently, the district became aware of 3 student cases of COVID-19 at their elementary school. All share the same classroom.
So it was easy in some ways for us to respond to because DHHS really put up a big quarantine wall, as I like to call it, and then in order to make sure that spread had stopped.
Contact tracing was done, and 17 students are now quarantining as a precaution. Another 60 students in the school are learning remotely because their teachers may have had exposure to the students who tested positive. Those teachers are quarantining as well.
Most of our students and staff will be returning on Thursday and Friday.
In Manchester, they have seen 32 cases of COVID-19 since the start of school, which began almost fully remote. But that hasn't stopped the district from continuing to transition more students from remote learning to a hybrid model.
Well, this week we are welcoming back second graders into the elementary schools. The first cohort came back yesterday. The next cohort will start Thursday.
High school students are set to transition to a hybrid model at the end of this month, but the superintendent says that date may change depending on cases of COVID-19.
High schools, the plan was to wait until the 26th to start returning those students back. However, looking at our current situation, that may have to be delayed till later.
School officials want to remind families and their students to remain vigilant when they're out of school to help control the spread of this virus. Reporting in Epping, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Utility shutoff notices begin going out to Granite Staters. Utilities Community Action Partnership say help available to pay bills. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Amy Cavino.
Why choose Century Roofing? You've met my team, the best in the business. Is a lifetime warranty good enough for you? And payment options. Financing is available, and we accept all credit cards.
We got you covered.
The
residential customer disconnection notices, they began going out this week. I believe that 1,000 letters were sent out this week.
The next few weeks could be critical for families who have fallen behind on utility payments. Some previously given leniency because of rules related to the coronavirus crisis.
For the next few weeks, yeah, there is the moratorium has been lifted, so there are people that could be faced with a disconnect, and that's why it's important we urge them to get a hold of community action agencies in the state.
For many families, this type of financial stress is new and likely terrifying. There are options, but you have to make that call. Eversource and Unitil have expanded payment options and want to help.
We are offering flexible payment arrangements that our customers can call and set up to spread out the remainder of their balance over 12 months. No money down, no fees, and no interest.
If your income situation has changed, there are income eligibility programs that may be available to you. There are payment plans that are available to you. There are a variety of fees that can be waived.
Community Action Partnerships works with utility companies to help families make payments, and they expect many more applications this year. In response to the pandemic, Community Action Partnerships statewide adjusted their income guidelines, realizing that many more New Hampshire families will likely need help.
To give you an idea, for a family of 4, that would be roughly annual income of $69,686.
The assistance money does not have to be repaid. It is first come, first served, so get your application in soon. In Manchester, Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Portsmouth restaurant owners push to extend outdoor dining through winter. Restaurant owners say customers might not want to dine inside. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Jennifer Crompton.
Chapel Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell tractors.
Portsmouth has about 22,000 residents and more than 30,000 restaurant seats, an industry continually pivoting in this pandemic. The expected statewide rise in cases hitting home here, even with safeguards in place, 4 restaurants temporarily closing with coronavirus concerns.
A lot of restaurant people work at multiple locations, and it's a very close-knit community. So when one person gets it, everybody kind of feels it, and it just puts everybody on edge.
And transparency of knowing that we're getting tested and communicating that to our clientele is extremely important.
Quite frankly, we don't know that the people are going to have the confidence to be inside all winter.
Kevin Dwyer built a bar outside the pub he opened just last December. Burger Bar's new owners started in January. Both would like to see the outdoor option that ends in 2 weeks continue through winter.
Set up some fire pits and some chairs, come up with some snow specials.
It hasn't been on here, but they've been doing it in Europe for a long time, or they do it at ski resorts, just trying to bring that kind of atmosphere to Portsmouth.
The importance of working and adapting with this city echoed by the city manager.
To say that the restaurant industry is important to this city and to the economy and to the vibrancy would be a complete understatement. We have to take care of them and help them do as well as they can. And we have to adapt to what they need.
A group of restaurant owners will be among those Monday night at the City Council meeting pushing to get the season extended well beyond November 1st through the winter. In Portsmouth, Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this morning edition. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.